When Just Dance 2023 came out, there were a ton of huge changes, including a new engine. And it's safe to say that the Switch release of this version of the game was disappointing. It was really laggy, multiplayer didn't work, it crashed all the time. So now that the Switch 2 is out, I want to see how the game compares to playing it on the Switch 1. And will help decide whether or not you should even buy a Switch 2 for Just Dance. So let's get into it. Performance. I found that the performance of Just Dance on the Switch 2 was so much smoother. Something I had a huge issue with on the Switch 1 is menu lag. Anytime I tried to click on something or switch a toggle in the menu, it would take me like 10 times flicking the joystick for anything to happen. I also encountered so many crashes on the Switch 1, and I had none of these issues on the Switch 2. I think the game really works well with the Switch 2 hardware as compared to the Switch 1 hardware. It is just a much smoother experience, menu and gameplay-wise. However, the maps are still in 720p like they were on the Switch 1, which compared to the 1080p maps on PS5 and Xbox Series are a lot blurrier. I think the quality of the maps is something you don't really notice until you see them in 1080p on like a PlayStation or Xbox, and then it's like, oh, this is way nicer. So that part's a bummer, but the lack of menu lag and crashing is really nice. Multiplayer. This also ran a lot smoother with no lagging or players dropping. Me and my friend Compact, thank you for helping me test this, played several songs with absolutely no issues. I think on the Switch 1, we used to have problems where we would have to sit at the end of a song and wait for everyone to catch up and load in, and like players would drop all the time. But this never happened on the Switch 2. It was just a much easier experience all around. And unfortunately, the slap emote still exists, so that's a bummer. Also, the friends list opened more quickly, thanks to like the better performance that we were talking about before. I find that on the Switch 1, every time I tried to open my friends list to invite someone to a group, it would either take forever to load, or it would take forever to load and then error out at the end. But I didn't have any issues loading the friends list on Switch 2. Scoring. Scoring is unfortunately exactly the same. I specifically tested maps that I knew were broken with the Joy-Con, and there was little to no difference. However, the pro here is that the Switch 2 still works with Switch 1 Joy-Cons, which means if you bought one of those Joy-Con watches, it still works as a scoring mechanism on the Switch 2. I wonder if the watch is compatible. Probably not, right? I haven't used this thing in so long. It's probably dead. I'm kind of curious, because I think this counts as like an older Joy-Con, so I don't think it will, but we could try. No way! No way! Oh, I see it. This works? Wow! This is a pretty big bonus for me personally because I hate holding something while I'm playing Just Dance. I would rather not score at all and not hold anything than like score well and have to hold my phone or a Joy-Con. So this is a huge plus. A con here is that the Switch 2 camera is not compatible as a camera scoring source. As far as I'm aware, this is because of the hardware itself, because the Switch 2 camera doesn't have any sort of motion tracking, and I don't think it works with any other game on the Switch 2. I think it's just meant as a game chat webcam, but who knows if this will change in the future. In conclusion, if you are looking for a Just Dance experience on a Nintendo console that runs smoothly, then playing on the Switch 2 is the way to go. However, if you care more about better quality or scoring, you're better off just sticking with the Switch 1. A lot of Switch 1 titles are planning $10 upgrades for Switch 2 versions, and I could see Just Dance doing something like this. If they did, I'd love to see the maps in 1080p or someday 4K. Please God, I want to see these maps in 4K. They're so pretty. I'd also love to see improved scoring with the Joy-Cons, but from what I understand, the gyroscope in the Switch 2 Joy-Cons is the same as the Switch 1 Joy-Cons, so I don't think this is actually possible. I think a Switch 2 upgrade version could also include a special avatar or background that could collab with Nintendo like they did for the Rabbid Peach map. I personally would pay $10 to upgrade my game for these things, but I couldn't think of any other ideas of what they could put in a $10 upgrade, so if you can think of something you'd want, put it in the comments. But when it comes to playing Just Dance, I think I'll be sticking with my PS5. Thank you so much for watching this video. I tried to make it as bite-sized and in-depth as possible. I'm really enjoying my Switch 2 right now. It was very expensive, I'm not gonna lie, and I couldn't test the camera thing with the Switch 2 camera because I didn't want to buy it because it's so expensive. And also the quality is kind of ugly. But I know for sure it does not work with the game, so it's kind of like, there's no point. I think it would be great if it did work with the game. It feels like that would make sense, but I don't know. I think that's up to Nintendo and Just Dance. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let me know what videos you want to see from me next. I love doing these little deep dives and I want to do more lore videos. It's just that there's not much lore to actually like make a video on. So if you can think of something, Please let me know. I miss my little lore video essays. They were so fun. Also, let me know if you're picking up a Switch 2, because when the Switch 2 came out, we were playing Mario Kart World on stream with friends because they have like multiplayer lobbies where you just put in a code. I had so much fun. It's fine. I'm still in first, it's fine. No, no, no. I did get my ass handed to me, but I had so much fun in the process. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.